right, welcome back, and sorry for the technical difficulties delay there, folks. For those of you that code or mess with Python or scripts within a spreadsheet or anything like that, you're well aware that sometimes one little typo can cause everything to go haywire, even when it seems like it's fine. So apologies for that. Um, we're going to start for the top for those of us you still with us. Uh, I thank you for bearing with. But because we are recording, for those who are not able to watch, come out along and view it later, I'm going to go through the top here from again. So, welcome to the season 145 Discord draft of Franchise Ball. This will be the May edition. So, for those who didn't know, I am Portland Woodsman. I am hosting this lottery right now, and but I want to make clear and give a shout out to those who I think have put in greater work than myself. That includes Cincinnati Reds, who I consider to be much of the mastermind behind much of the machines and soon to be hopefully a website being built for our Discord draft. Um, really, a lot of the codes and scripts I've gathered from him and didn't really have to do much more than just get it to run on my own machine. And so, big shout out to him. He's been not only a huge help, but honestly the driving force behind this. So thank you, Reds. Outside of that, I want to give a shout out, obviously, to Athens Bobcats, who has been a great host in past seasons, as well as Charlotte Magic, who I believe was the original uh, thinker up of this Discord draft idea. Um, and then has currently been a driving force behind the raffle that is running at this time as well. Besides that, major contributors have been Akala Coalition, Deadly Sins, of course, um, Los Angeles Lizards, uh, and innumerable others. If I didn't give you proper props, apologies. But thank you to all you who have been working on this and helping make sure this gets done. Just so you all know, we're obviously volunteer. This isn't a job. We're not getting paid. We got our own jobs around the corner from this that we got to get back to. So patience and bearing with the bugs as they come through is greatly appreciated. So for those of you, obviously are probably familiar with the registration form that you filled out, 6 questions, and that gave you the team name, or gave us the team name that we were able to take from this spreadsheet and pop it into our lottery machine. From there, we drop in the team's names and go into the main franchise ball website and pull out the win-loss record for the team in the previous season. This was 145. I know Kandarian Demons, it seems like you somehow got an extra game in there. Uh, Not quite sure why the game credited you with that, but it happens. And sorry, that's what we stuck with for this. Besides that, we also pulled out batting averages, runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, and left on base. And this crunches a formula that the machine runs, actually. I didn't do these numbers myself. Machine is coded to do these numbers for us. It calculates out a score. Some of these stats are weighted higher than others. And basically, with that score, think of it like a lottery ticket, and as if you were playing the Powerball. But the more tickets you purchase, the greater your odds. So, for example, Tulsa Dylan here has 1,043 tickets. Greatest chance compared to the Ontario Gladiators with only 116. So, for those of you who also were paying attention as we've been going along, I posted some scores a couple days ago. Um, Apologies if you notice that your scores may have shifted a little. That's because Cincinnati Reds and I realized that we didn't have ourselves entered in this draft and we wanted to participate in the fun as well. So I had a fairly good season, though my playoffs didn't quite go the way I hoped. So I registered the second to lowest score. Apologies, Ontario, for bumping you down slightly. Um, Reds slotted in at the 25th seed here with 487 points. So what this means is that if you're like me, you don't have a 0% chance of getting the top pick, but you might as well. if you're up at the top, your chances are much better. So without further ado, I will let this system run. As you can see now, our 20-second timer is counting down. It's actually for the first pick going to give us an extra 20 seconds just so we can talk it through. But it will reveal the picks in order of the lottery, going from 1 to 10, 20 seconds in between. From there on out, it will, after the 10th pick is revealed, place everyone in order from pick 11 to the final pick in the draft, and you will be ordered in the highest remaining score, getting the highest pick, to the lowest score, getting the last pick. This means for people like me, I am probably getting the second to last pick in the draft, if not the last pick. As that timer gets closer and closer to 0, 3, 2, 1. First pick in the draft goes to... Ooh, suspense. Fort Collins Dividends. Congratulations. Slight move up from the second seed to number 1. Fort Collins, I believe, is a newer team, though they did play a full schedule of 60 games last season. So hopefully this, for those of you newer teams, you're able to pick a player that becomes centerpiece of your team and pushes you well into the playoffs next season. Something to build around. So congratulations, Fort Collins. Next up, Tucson Tulips. 3 seed moving up to number 2. So we've been sticking near the top. Congratulations to the Tulips. I know they're a newer team, finishing 14 and 14. 500 record for your first season is great. I've also been active in the Discord, so it's been exciting to see them hopefully take this and really allow to push them to new levels in their second season. Pick 3 goes to the Akron Felons, a large jump here. Congratulations to Akrons. They finished 37 and 23. I know they're one of the teams that have been around this league or this game for quite a while. Veteran player of sorts, you could say. Hopefully, this is what they need to really have a strong playoff push this season. So, congratulations, Akron. Pick number 4 coming up next. To the Blazers out of Washington. They are a newer team, only playing like 32 games last season. So they finished 2 games over 500 at 17 and 15. So hopefully this is just what they need to really get something exciting going. Congratulations, Washington. Pick number 5 rolling around goes to the Olathe Swamp Donkeys. One of my personally favorite named teams. Nothing more exciting than watching a swamp donkey swing a baseball bat. I believe they're in my league, Alpha Ruby. So hopefully this gives me some exciting competition, and be fun to see how they build around this. Pick number 6 goes to Anchorage Aces. Strong move up there from the 14 seed. Congratulations, Anchorage. You get pick number 6. Aces, there's one of those more prominent players, active players within this game. I'm sure many of you are familiar with them by now. Congratulations. Tulsa Dillon, the original 1 seed, unfortunately slides all the way down to pick number 7. That is a slight disappointment, I'm sure, for them, but still a high pick. And as we'll talk about in a second when we look at the player pool, it's nothing to be disappointed about. It's a great draft we got coming this season, guys. Lots of good players, I think. Players I'd be happy to have on my roster. Pick number 8 goes to Miami Stingers. Slight move up from the number 9 seed. Congratulations. You jump up a slot. Miami as well. It's one of the more active teams within Discord, prominent. Happy to have them here and happy to see them continue playing our game that we like. So we roll on to the end of the draft. Pick 9 goes to New York Mavericks. Slid down from 5 seed to number 9. Still a strong pick. Mavericks are a newer team in this league. Looks like they fell 1 game short reaching the cutoff for the playoffs last season. Sure, that's disappointing. But hopefully this season with a full 60-game slate and a new strong player out of the draft, some exciting things happen. Pick 10 goes to Tulsa Tornadoes. They are so fond of the city in which they are based that they put it in their name twice. So congratulations to Tulsa. They get the final pick in the lottery. From there on out, we are slotted in the from highest to lowest based on score. So pick number 11 goes to the Green Bay Brewers. Pick number 12 goes to Charlotte NASCAR, which is a confusing conglomeration of sports, but an exciting one in its own right. The Caracas Snakes get pick 13. Providence Franzes, pick 14. The Trash Pandas out of Huntsville get pick 15, and by there we've caught up to our seeding. Toronto Blazers at 16. Baltimore Oriole, no S at the end. Make sure it's not plural. There are other teams with similar names. But the Baltimore Oriole is 17. Tampa Bay Thunderbirds, our own Commander Awesomeness, whose channel this video of this lottery will be available to view again later on, at 18. Albany Kazi, 19. San Juan Hokies out of numbers. They're seed number 20 and pick number 20. Yokohama Wyverns, exciting to have a team all the way from Japan at pick number 21. Los Angeles Seals at 22. Toronto Inferno at 23. The Punjabi out of Pembroke Pines at 24. Cincinnati Reds, of course, at 25. Green Bay Kakuana Foxes. I don't know quite what that is, but I'd love to hear the story behind it. 26. The Miami Hot Rods, 27. Fishtown, 28. Toronto Masters at 29. The Elk Grove Kandarian Demons, which is just groovy, baby. For those of you Evil Dead fans out there at pick 30. Minneapolis Wolves at 31. Columbus Grays at 32. Edmonton Snowhawks at 33. Chicago Dogs at 34. Myself, Portsmouth Woodsman at 35. Ontario Gladiators will round us out with the final pick at 36. So before we move on, I wanted to talk about the next step in the draft, which hopefully you all can do in the next 24 hours, is migrate on over to the player pool. Follow the link to the spreadsheet where it shows the currently 47 players enrolled in the pool. I want to give a shout out to the teams that were able to enter players. Thank you to the Reds, Inferno, St. John Sens, where I'm holding some players for, as well as Charlotte Magic, Kala Coalition, Chosen Ones, also Charlotte Magic. And yeah. So the way the player pool works here is, as you can see, this spreadsheet gives you a large collection of information to look over, including the current age of the player and their ratings, and how those ratings maybe compare here in these columns to certain other stats. These aren't shown necessarily in the main game's website, but they're something that I quite use. And if you want to understand how those ratings work a little better, you can migrate over to the instructions tab at the bottom, where it gives a little more detail. Speaking of the instructions tab, it also is going to tell you at the bottom, give you a link here to open up and create a priority list, which has its own instructions. This will be really helpful for everyone to fill out for this draft because, as I mentioned, Cincinnati Reds has been really working behind the scenes and doing some cool stuff, and we think we have an automated draft machine that hopefully we can roll out and have all the kinks hammered out on this season. The draft machine is a little more automated than previous seasons and just call out players and waiting for everyone and hopefully allow us to run the draft a little quicker. It runs with a timer as well and allows us to keep things moving quickly. But what the way the priority sheets fit into it is that if you are not present for this draft when your pick comes up, then the machine will choose a random player for you and that will be your player. Rather than in previous seasons, we've had people messaging, trying to choose players way late, and it creates a lot of confusion, a lot of difficulty. This way we can have it all done and over with as soon as the draft is over. And if you aren't present and you get assigned a random player, that's your player, whether you like it or not. You don't necessarily have to trade for them, but that's what you get. But if you're not present, something's come up and you're not able to be present when your pick is called, and you've submitted a priority list, that makes things a lot easier. The machine just chooses the top player remaining on that list for you. The way you fill out the priority list is first thing, go to File, make a copy, rename it up here, and put the name somewhere in that name. Make sure to put the name of your team so that we know who it is. Speaking of team names, please fill out this line with your team name as well as the season currently. We're in season 144 for the next couple of days. And then you can just rank. You don't necessarily have to copy over the stats if you don't want to. They really don't make a difference. All we really care about is column A, the names. So position and pitchers. Put them in the order, number that you want them to be drafted in. Then also go back to the player pool file, make a copy of that as well. That'll allow you to just cut and paste, or copy and paste, I should say. Control C for those of you using a computer, and drop the name right in there. Make sure the name's spelled right, because if the spelling is wrong, then it skips that player and goes to the next player on the list. With that in mind, I believe that's the end of our lottery. Thanks for those of you that stayed with this through the entire time of listening to me ramble and talk. Hope I didn't put you to sleep. And look forward to hanging out with you in the draft in a couple of days.